Assertiveness is very important for resilience because it affects all of us. No. Sometimes this can be very rewarding to say. I took my driver's license exam in Vancouver, and I was given this one examiner I did not want. He had a reputation for being extremely tough and failing a lot of people. He was a big man. So when he got into the old Nissan Sentra that I borrowed from my uncle, the car just sank. So I put on my seatbelt, checked my mirrors, and off I went. I made a few turns, I did my parallel parking. All this time, he was writing in this little clipboard. Now, Vancouver roads can be quite hilly. So I was driving up this particularly steep hill, and he said to me, "This is a residential zone. You're able to drive up to 50 kilometers per hour. You don't have to drive 30. But in my mind, I was thinking, I can't. The gas pedal was pushed pretty much to the floor, and we were barely going 40. And he continued to write in his clipboard. Up to this point, I was doing okay. My parallel parking wasn't perfect, and I made a couple of minor mistakes here and there. I think I was bordering on passing. Finally, we get to Commercial Drive, the street where the testing center was located. As we approach the stop sign to make the right turn onto the street, the examiner says to me in his powerful voice, "There's a gap in traffic. Take the turn now." Now, Commercial Drive is a very busy road, and it was rush hour. So I understood why he told me to do that. But it was a stop sign, and this is a driving test. So I stopped, did my checks, but when I was ready to proceed, traffic got busy again. Now, I was raised to be a people pleaser, and at this stage in my life, I felt really uncomfortable when people didn't like me or welcome me, and this guy was not liking me at this time. We sat there just watching car passing for 5 minutes. That's an eternity at a stop sign, especially sitting next to a guy with this face. My chest and my face were tight, and my stomach was so chaotic. But after a couple of minutes, he smirked. And he started writing something down. Back at the testing center, he was smiling, and he said to me, "Sometimes you can get stuck for a very long time at that stop sign. I would never tell you to do something that's dangerous." Then he shook my hand and said, "Congratulations, you've passed." That was a defining moment in my life because it was a powerful lesson on the importance of being assertive. What I did at that stop sign eclipsed all of the minor mistakes I made during the rest of the exam and got me the pass. By not listening to the examiner, I showed him that I was in complete control of my driving. And that's the number one quality of a good driver. I was rewarded for saying no to him. Many people with chronic illnesses, for whatever reason, can't say no to others. They'll agree to something and then avoid the other person or make up an excuse to get out of the situation instead of just saying no in the first place. There was a neat natural experiment that I witnessed about assertiveness. I met 2 women who had the same job at a factory. Both were in their 50s and share a cultural background. And both have chronic pain because of the nature of the work. They each have 2 kids around the same age. And both of their husbands have about the same salary. They both have great work ethic. And they complain that a lot of their coworkers barely do the minimal amount of work. But the coworkers are favored by the supervisor who shares a cultural background with them. And that's different than these 2 women. Their supervisor keeps on asking them to do more work to make up for the low productivity of their coworkers. The first woman, who has wrist pain, keeps on accepting the work. She tells me that if she doesn't keep the supervisor happy, he might lay her off. And at her age, it's hard to find another job. She needs the money because her family's barely getting by, and her children will be going to university in a couple of years. But this extra work is really aggravating her wrists, so she gets doctor's notes to take time off work occasionally. I sympathize with her. It sounds like an extremely difficult situation to be in. And then I talk to the second woman. She has shoulder pain and keeps on declining the extra work. She refuses to aggravate her shoulder to make up for lazy coworkers. She feels that her supervisor won't lay her off because she and the first woman are the best workers in the factory. So she continues her high level of productivity, but that's it. Both of these women have the same financial worries. But ironically, the first woman, who thinks she's making the supervisor happy, is more likely to be laid off because she misses work days. The second woman says to me, "Why does she keep on accepting the work? She's killing herself. For what? So that those worthless coworkers can keep on being lazy?" I completely agree. One person's inability to be assertive hurts herself and enables others. And what's going to happen to the productivity of the factory when the two women stop working? But it's not that simple to be assertive. There's a reason why some people can't say no. For some people, it's because they're afraid to lose someone or something. For me, saying no led to nasty consequences as a child, so avoiding those was more important than anything else. Over the years, I would feel that fear in my body whenever I just thought of saying no. So it became a habit. To get out of that habit, the positives of saying no must outweigh the negatives. That driving exam gave me a powerful feeling of pride that counteracted the fear. And I can still recall that feeling to help me be assertive at times now. But not everyone has been able to get out of their habit, like the woman with wrist pain. Assertiveness is very important for resilience because it affects all of us. So when my team meets a person who struggles with it, we get them to practice saying no to us in different situations. It's a start to developing their skill. But what will really hit it home is if people in their lives give them the opportunities to be assertive and reward them for it. If you have a hard time saying no, do you know of anyone who you can safely practice with? And if you know someone who can't say no, are you able to give them the opportunity and encouragement to say it?